All right, the purpose of today's podcast is to talk about RIFs and all the things that are going on around RIFs. Right now, when we created the title for this podcast and decided to talk about RIFs, what we didn't realize was the fact that the market was going to have all these market swings. Right, so I'm gonna blend some of the RIF stuff along with some of the market stuff, so we could just bring it all together. And today is April 9th. And so this is the day that the market had an upswing back up after being down for 3 straight days. So just to give you context of where we are as of this podcast. Now, at the same time, along with all this, there's been a lot of risks going on, right? A lot of clients have been calling us, just wanting to set meetings because they've been getting offered the deferred retirement program, and then also the risks and the threats of buyouts. So it's been crazy, right? But I want to give you, just as I start this call, this call, like, just to something to think about, right? When it comes to making that RIF decision, right? And so, and I know a lot of people are under time constraint right now, and so decisions have to be made. Here's how we're talking to clients. And again, this may work for you, this might not work for you, but as a general principle, here's how we're explaining it to people. Now, if you want to take the deferred retirement, and you're thinking about it, and you retired in September, what we would like to do is, like, we like to talk to those folks and go through the numbers. And if you can retire today based on how the numbers look, then it makes sense to take it, right? And the reason why that is because if you retire today, worst case scenario, the deal doesn't go through some kind of way, and all of a sudden everybody that took it is retired immediately. You don't get to go through September, then you're good, right? Because you ran your numbers, you're good anyway. But why not take that 5-month vacation? Now, if you run your numbers and it doesn't look good for you, it's worth the risk of possibly being riffed rather than signing on the dotted line that you're done in September regardless. The reason why that's important is because, between now and September, it's not much you can do to really change your stars when it comes to your retirement, unless you're somebody that's at that 19-year mark and you're getting ready to go over the 20 years. That's different. But for most people, where you're at now versus where you'll be in September is pretty much the same. Again, this is the general rule, but I know a lot of people are wondering this, and so a lot of people watching this video, I just wanted to put that out there, right? And again, it's just a general rule. Your situation is different, but just I reiterate, this is what we're telling people. If you run your numbers, you run your financial plan, and you can. It looks like you can retire today, and it doesn't matter if you work to September. Then that's probably a good move for you to just take that 5-month vacation. But if you can't, or the numbers are really close and you're not sure, it's worth the wait because say you don't get riffed, you then in the federal government for another 5 to 10 years, you can continue to do your career and do your proper planning. And if you sign on the dotted line at the end of September, you're not going to make that big of a difference, right? But the risk of working longer is just much greater. So just wanted to get that out the way. Now I just want to get to the rest of our webinar where we're talking about all the other stuff, right? And mainly what we want to talk about today is just the mindset around retirement and risks and all that type of things in this current climate, right? And so, one of the things that, again, we talk to all of our people that contact us about is, look, you have 3 ways of responding right now, right? When we call them the 3 doors about risk. You can panic, you can freeze, or you can plan, right? And the fact that you're watching this video, you're probably a planner, right? But again, you might have been in a place where you had panicked at one point. You might have froze at one point, right? And so when we talk about panic, what that means is this: you're cashing out your TSP, right? Oh no, the market's down. I got to do something. So you're the person that cashes out the TSP, right? Or roll it into something that you don't know a whole lot about, but you're just doing it just because your entire TSP, you're panicking, you're taking it all out. The government's doing too much. I'm taking all my money. Right? No, you don't want to be that person that panics because you make bad decisions. Case in point, today being April 9th, the market was up around 9% today, right? If you were somebody that panicked, moved all your money to the G fund over the last 2 days, not saying that's bad for everybody, but in most cases, it's not the best for everybody, right? And so you would have lost out on a 9% gain, right? Because the market goes up or down, right? But you never know when that peak's going to come. So you just want to make sure you have a financial plan in place when you're making moves like that, right? And so if you panicked, you missed out on a day like today, right? Who knows what tomorrow might bring or next week, but you missed out on the opportunity to gain 9% today because you might have moved your money to the G fund. And we like to call that just locking it in the basement. Now, if you're retiring tomorrow, I get it, right? But again, you want to have a financial plan so you're not responding to things in a panic way, right? And again, another symptom of panicking is just again rushing to move your money into the G fund, right? Um, the next thing is just freezing, right? And these people, retiring, we're putting together financial plans for, you've been putting together financial plans and making sure your ducks in a row, and all of a sudden a situation like this happens with the RIFs and the market, and you just start freezing. You stop planning. You put your head in the sand, and you just don't want to be bothered. You're like, I just rather not deal with this. I'm so stressed. I'm panicking. I have anxiety and things like that, and so you just freeze. You don't move all your money to the G fund, but you just freeze. You don't have any strategy. You could create one, but you just don't. You're not doing it. You're not thinking about taxes anymore. You just everything is out the window until this is all over. Right? You just put your head in the sand. That's the freeze, right? And then the last, and again, it's probably you because you're watching this video, are the people that you plan. You create an income plan for yourself. You create a tax plan for yourself. You're not panicking right now because okay, this is a long-term thing. I already got my safe money to the side. I know what my income is. I paid down my debt, so I'm cool. This is just a part of. This is just every day. This is how it is. Markets up, markets go down. You have a plan in place. You have a trusted advisor that you use, and you're doing your thing. You're not panicking in any way, right? And so those are the three ways of doing it. You could be a panicker. That's door number one. Door number two, freeze. Door number three, you plan, right? And then at Fed Legacy, we have our TSP finish line process. And those folks that went through our TSP finish line process, they know they have a plan, so they don't panic, they don't freeze, right? Because they have a plan in place. And what that is we call it our TSP finish line process, but within it, we build a financial house for you, which first starts with your income, right? In your foundation, and that includes your income, your legacy planning, uh, um, income, and then your healthcare planning, right? Because those are the things, for the most part, that scare a lot of people in retirement and cause you to act emotional, right? And so when clients come to us and we talk about, what are some things they fear in retirement, we make sure we put those things they fear into that foundation. So when the market's gone crazy, like it did the last couple of days, you're not calling me or looking at your TSP. I'm like, man, I just lost $100,000 in what I needed for income, in my $100,000 in the plan that I needed income from, right? You don't want that to happen. You want where your income is coming from. You want that to be in a safe place. You don't want that to be subject to the market loss. Like, just imagine over the last 3 days, if you're receiving income and you're retired, and that account that you're receiving income from dipped down for the first day, then the second day, then the third day. That's a lot of anxiety, right? You don't want that to happen to the account that you're drawing income from the account that you expect to leave legacy from, and things like that, right? So you want to have a bucket for that. The next is you want to have a we call it the walls, where you get insulated from things that affect you from the outside, like taxes, inflation, those type of things we want to put in the wall. And that's more of a strategy, right? And you want to make sure you have those tax strategy, because it's one thing you cannot avoid is taxes, right? Now, what you can avoid is paying more than you should, right? And you want to have a strategy for that. Another thing is you want your money to always be outpacing inflation. And that's what we call the walls. And then last but not least, we call it the roof. And that's the growth account, right? And so that growth account is the account that more than likely in the last 3 days, you would have saw some fluctuation. But because you don't need that money right now, because your foundation is in place, it wouldn't matter to you as much, because this is a long-term thing, right? And you watch where the market's been over the last 5 years or so. Like, even today, if you look at the market today as of April 9th, the market from April 9th, 2025, from April 9th, 2024, is still up 4.2%, right, as of this call again. So long term, we're up. Short term, it looks crazy, but you can't play that game, because you'll miss out on market swings, right? And so, what I want to do is just reiterate to you that when it comes to RIFs, when it comes to markets like this, if you have a financial plan in place, it allows you to make easier decisions, right? And so with us, we'll love to help you build out the TSP finish line process. We go to fedlegacycall.com and we help you do it. We have a team of advisors to make sure you get your stuff in order. But again, don't panic. Even if you're being RIF, just make sure that you have a plan in place, because even if you have a plan in place, it makes these decisions, it makes this time a lot easier. And I can tell you this, we meet with a lot of clients, and I would say 8 out of 10 clients, even the ones getting riffed, once we sit them down and cure some of that anxiety, they realize that, you know what, it's not as bad as I thought, right? And so just wanted to put that out there for you, and hopefully that helps. All right, talk to you soon.